What's love got to do? What's going on, guys? We are live. Got another hand project. Jordan, can I mean, Ryan, can I, thank you. This is the healed one that you all like and still comment on. So we're doing his other hand today. I'm going to go through the whole tattoo. Using a Bishop wand rotary pen, the shader wand, and I have got 9 volts on the power pack, and I'm using a 7 curve mag bug pin from Cheyenne. Then I've got a 15 Magnum bug pin, soft edge again, and then I've got the 9. What's going on, guys? Please smash a like on the video, get this ball rolling, and then I've got the 35 3-round liner from Quadrant. So we're just gonna go straight into it, bruv. Start at the bottom, work our way up as usual. Got my reference here, that's what I want it to look like. I've offset it in the same kind of style as the other hand, and we're just gonna go start from the bottom and work our way up. So that is basically what's happening today. Please smash a like on the video if you are watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Estonia's in the house. Estonia in the house. I'm going to start with the black. I'm using, so my ink today for the solid black, I'm using triple black dynamic ink. I'm using David Vega set, Empire ink set. It's this one here for, here we go. This is the extra light, but it's the David Vega set from Empire, grey wash set, and that's it. That's literally it. The green stuff I'm using is Inkies, which is this stuff, Green Glide. I love this stuff, it's really nice. Keeps the tattoo nice and hydrated, the skin hydrated. It's got vitamins D, A, and all kinds of stuff in there, so it's all nice to use as well for that. And we're just gonna crack on now. This is how far my needle's sticking out. What's going on from Belgium? It's quite far out. I've kind of used a new technique now. I stick my needles out a bit more than I used to, just because I feel like I've got more control over the needle. And I like having more control over the needle, basically. I'm going up a level to a 9. I've just dipped that in the bloody ink pot. So I'm using a 9 curve mag bug pin from Cheyenne on this one. You can see now how far the needle is out. There you go, it's a perfect view. Bit far out. So yeah, I may as well just do a live seminar for you all today. Hey, fuck it. So I'm going on with the dark solid black right now. Using the side of the mag to get those furry tones. I might actually go in with a bit more dark section here, to be fair. Hold on, I'm just going to grab my other reference with my stencil on. So I know where things are. If we can get 300 likes on this video by the end of the video, that would be unbelievable. And please subscribe if you're new. Smash that bell icon as well. This is my stencil that I did. So I'm going to have that probably underneath so I can see where I am at all times. Yep, put your arm down, lad. So yeah. Let's try and get it going here, girl. Now for hands, they're quite difficult to do, especially around the knuckle section, because you've got all kinds of lumps and bumps to deal with. You just want to take it slow. I've done a lot of hands. Hands can heal quite harshly. They tend to heal a bit less straightforward than other places on the body, just because you use your hands a lot. I find myself smashing in the ink a lot harder with hands, because it is a bit thinner skin, so you feel a lot more vibration. But don't let off, because you just want to carry on really smashing that ink in there like I'm doing now. You can hear it. And then we'll be putting some white in. I'm still working with the black. Any questions, guys, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll stop occasionally to look through the comments. This is where it gets nice and tasty for the man behind the camera. Make sure we're smashing that black ink in there. It's quite hard to do the knuckle area. I'm like moving the skin away from the knuckle as well, so it's not directly on the knuckle. So I'm manipulating it around, so I'm not, you know, always working on bone, because it can be quite hard to work on bone. Like so. And then obviously on knuckles as well, it is quite hard to wipe the ink off, so it's just one of them things you have to be a bit more rougher with, I suppose. And always wet your tail. How's it feeling, brother?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah?
All good.
All good. Nice whip brush motion to shade this out a bit. Still using black as well, so still using solid black. I haven't changed my tone. I'm going to use the brush motion in here. Like this. And you can hear it going up to the bone there, so it's a lot more smoother. Go back in for a second layer, smooth it out. Nice. Smooth it out. Don't be afraid to go over it three or four times with the layering. Just be careful not to overwork the skin though, if you do go back over it. 9 people watching, please smash that like button. Alfreda Potter says, for you personally, what was the biggest challenge on your way to being a tattoo artist? Not getting frustrated with myself. I knew what I wanted to achieve when I was trying to tackle a tattoo, and I would then find myself thinking, right, I'm doing everything. I've studied the way they move their hand, etc., and it still doesn't look as neat or as smooth as other people's work that I've studied and I really look up to. And it used to frustrate the shit out of me, because I thought, well, why? You know, maybe I'm not destined to be a tattoo artist. Maybe I just need to quit. So that's probably the thing that was the hardest thing to overcome, was myself, really, I think. As cliche as it sounds, but it was. So yeah, you just don't really want to give up, because it will just fall into place one day and you'll think, fuck me, like, oh, it looks smoother, and then one day you'll just get it. And there's so many different types of skin as well. Like some days you'll do like a tattoo and it'll be really smooth because the skin's been really good to you, and then the next day you'll have someone with quite bad skin. Bad skin meaning it will like bleed a lot, be red, etc. And then, you know, the ink will be pushed out and it doesn't look as smooth, and then you start to think, shit, like maybe I'm not so good. But it's, you know, every artist does that, like, and I don't care who you are, not every artist creates the same consistency with every single tattoo, because you will have different canvases. You know, there's people that will, you know, have someone that's, you know, and even if, before I say that point, even if you do, it does happen to you like that, you know, it might look quite red and quite inflamed and quite sore and not as smooth as you'd like it to be, but what I've found is sometimes when it heals really nice. It's only when it's first done, when the skin's had time to calm down, it will then start to look how you want it to look. But you just have to wait for that healing period, I suppose, to pass. Which is quite interesting, to be fair. But what I was going to say is, not every tattooist will upload, everything that you see them upload on social media. Not every tattoo artist will upload everything they've done every day, because they will have canvases that do suck, basically, and that's the hard truth about it. I'm using the side of the mag now to just create some fine little hair details. I mean, the knuckle area is quite hard to work with, so I'm just trying to work as best I can with this 9 Magnum, curved Magnum. Don't want to wipe too much because the stencil's coming off now. So I'll work around here. I'm just whipping it out like this. Whip, whip, whip. Do a couple layers, make that proper smashed in there. Make sure that's proper smashed in there. You can always go back into that as well if we want to fade it out a bit more. Just following the reference. Thanks, blessed one, man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I do pride myself. I have seen a lot of tattoo YouTube channels pop up over the last sort of year or so, and a lot of them are just like, there's been a couple really good ones, like skill wise, like really good tattoo artists, but they still don't tell you the what. They don't keep it real, they don't tell you much. They just talk over a fucking tattoo time lapse, and I get it, but it's the same shit I'm saying, basically. But it's really nice to get to see someone else's workflow, it's really cool to see that. But they're sponsored as well, A lot of people. I said on my YouTube channel this morning. I posted a story because I said, a lot of these new people are sponsored, and what I pride myself on is talking about real shit that I've tried because I've paid for it. I'm not sponsored by a company to say I'm not sponsored by a company to say, you need to get this because I use it. This is what I use. It's brilliant. There's a lot of people that I've been tattooed by, like really big names here in the UK, that are sponsored by ink companies, for instance, and they don't even use their ink. And that's bullshit. I hate that shit. Yeah, like, why are you supporting something that, like, a cause that you don't even use? Like, I don't understand. Just because it's a popular company, and you get shared and stuff, it doesn't make no sense to me. But that's just me. I don't know. unless it's their friend's company or something. I don't know. I have no idea. Not a clue, but it just doesn't make no sense for me personally. But each to their own. I just like to keep it real. Like this, these machines, Bishop sent them to me. And they said, we love what you do with the community, and I greatly respect Bishop's work and how they approach themselves, I guess, and how they conduct themselves is the word I was looking for, because this industry has been cutthroat from the beginning. I think there's a lot of egos, a lot of companies out there that do. I'm using like a light tone now just to fade out to get some detail in here. Still using the side of the mag just to create that fast whip. And one of the things Bishop said to me was, love what you're doing with, for the community to spread awareness of tattooing and stuff. And they sent me these out and they said, look, if you don't like them, send them back. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with people. And I don't speak for everyone. I just speak for myself. I give you my personal views because I have been in that situation where a lot of you are, and have said, cheers, Jerry Zoo. I appreciate that. Someone sent a thing. Cheers for the donation, 51 Tyler Twitch, bro. I really appreciate that. As you can see, it's now starting to gain some detail around the bottom of the mouth. I forgot what I was saying now. I actually forgot what I was saying. Yeah, they said, send it back if you don't like it. And I said, well, yeah, I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with people. And it's one of the best machines I've ever used. And I sort of knew that as well. I'm not sponsored by Bishop. But if they approached me for a sponsorship, of course I would take it because their stuff is nice. I've trialed it. I've trialed it. I like how they conduct themselves. I like how they work with you to find. Like I originally got in contact with Bishop because I wanted a machine that was a good all-rounder, and I said I kind of wanted a setup with I wanted a shader, like a setup shader that I don't have to worry about, different tweaks and stuff like torsion screws and stuff like that. And I want a liner set up as well. I wanted a liner, and they responded and said, what would you want to achieve? And I told them what I wanted to achieve, and they hit the nail on the head. They helped me sort of almost tailor my whole setup I've got now to what I wanted to achieve, and they helped me through that, and I think that's fantastic customer service, especially in the tattoo industry, because it's some companies just look at it as money, But yeah, what the guys are doing over at Bishop are fucking insane. They're very, very professional, very, very, and I really admire them, to be honest. I really, really admire them, and that's why if they were to approach me or approach anybody, I know that they're, the artist is in good hands, and why wouldn't you want to help promote a thing that you actually use, products you actually use, and you can see me using the Bishop stuff, etc., etc. But yeah, so another super chat's come in from 51 Tyler Twitch. Thanks a lot again. Before you started tattooing realism, were you good at drawing realism? Yeah, that was the thing I enjoyed the most. Now, but when I first started tattooing, I was very scared to do realism tattoos because I didn't know how to shade. And I didn't want to be one of these people that put out pieces where I didn't know how to shade and it just looked like shit. So it would sort of tarnish my name before I really got started. So that's why I went into dot work first, to be honest. I went into dot work before I started. I'm just trying to position his hand correctly, so I've got a nice purchase on it. I went into dot work because it's an easier kind of technique, I guess, to build confidence with skin depth and stuff like that. So that's what I did. And then I sort of got really bored of that. I did that for about eight months, and yeah, I got bored of it. And I wanted to challenge myself, and I looked up to these guys like Eric Massinazin from LA and places like this, and he was doing some really, really nice smooth shading work, and I was like, man, I wish I could tattoo like that. So I just started to give it a go, and I was pretty much working for free a lot of the time just to gain experience and knowledge, and to teach myself how to shade, I guess. And yeah, it slowly fell into place. I bagged an apprenticeship, went to tattoo conventions. I sat there, stood there for like hours just studying all of my favourite artists from around the world because I'm from London, so there's a tattoo convention here in London, which is probably one of the biggest in the world. And so a lot of guys and girls that I admired on Instagram and places like that came over and started tattooing, and I'd just stand there for hours and just watch their technique. I'd take a camera as well and just video it and then watch it back, and that's how I sort of studied different techniques. So I knew what they were doing with their hand, I knew kind of what sort of needles they were using, etc. But yeah, I started to, while I was in school, art was my favourite subject, basically. When I used to get home from school as well, I used to try and copy portraits of like David Beckham and stuff, because I was really into football. So I was drawing David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo, who was my favourite footballer for Man United at the time. So when I used to get home from school, all my mates were going out playing football. And although I loved football, on a school sort of week, I would just sit at home and draw, copy different portraits and stuff like that. I'd really wish I'd have kept them, because it would have been cool to look back at them and see how bad they were. But yeah, I'm just gonna have a look at some other comments. Please smash like on the video, guys. It's Jerry Zoo. I'm at 9%, might be heading out and finishing the video on TV. Nice one, man. Thank you. I mean, this video is going to be available to watch back, so you can watch it back. So yeah, what's Matthias Renan says, what is the best tip you can give to someone that is becoming depressive because of this pandemic and losing the will to study tattooing? Mate, I've been there. I have fucking been there. When I was in the pandemic, I started to feel really weird. Like the first month was nice, just having space and stuff like that. But it got really weird to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm feeling a bit depressed now. So like the best thing you can do is just, when I sort of get fed up with tattooing and sort of get unmotivated and stuff like that, I try and watch other people's work and stuff, and people that I admire, and I'm like, you know what, I want to be on that level. I still do that now. I still compare myself to other people, but in a good way. And it gives me motivation to work harder. Buy some fake skin, dude, and tattoo on that through lockdown. Try different techniques on fake skin. Just even if it's on fake skin, like you don't even have to have a picture on there, a stencil to follow. Just try different techniques, like the brush motion like this. This is a really good technique to use. You could use the whip like this. It's a whip, or you can use stipple, obviously with a 3-round liner. You just get a stipple and stipple. Color packing. Use all these different techniques that you could do on fake skin, and try and better yourself with your art that way, and look up to people that you follow for inspiration. That's what I would do. That's what I do now. That's how I get out of a rut, and that's what I still do to this day. I'm washing my needle out now. So I was using a light to medium tone, so the second from lightest to do those shades in here. Now I'm going to go up to the lightest shade and start to do this bit up here. So I'll pop him back there. I'm going to get into the lightest shade first and just work up from here. I know this needs to go darker eventually. Just creating a fur sort of technique. Longer strands. follow the flow of the hair as well, which is why I've put the lines in, so it gives me the flow of where I need to position my needle. Then I'm going to go back over it with a medium tone, so the middle of the I'm brushing this in now. Just want to fade it out as well, just flip those ends out. And just make sure, I'm going to go wash my needle out and then go in with the lightest tone and just shade up from here, brushing it in. Just to create a, like a shadow effect. Like that. Just get rid of that skin coloured highlight. I'm trying to create that. Going back in with a really dark colour now. Not darkest, but a dark grey wash. No worries, Matthias, mate. I hope you're good. Good. 5 a.m. from Kansas, Jerry. First time watching you live, Eddie Tawil. Thank you, mate. Thanks for the comment. What kind of depth are you aiming for when shading, Danny Melrose? It's hard to explain depth. You just know, like when you touch the needle to the skin, you can feel the skin come through the pen. And then as soon as you push a bit harder, you can feel that biting point. That's how I want to go, but not too hard to the point where you're seeing the skin really inflamed and sort of almost bite back to suggest you are going too deep. I'm going to go in with a really light tone here now and just work on some of these directional vary areas. But you'll feel the biting point, and it comes with experience as well. You'll feel how deep you're going, for sure. But my needle's sort of, you can see my needle's poking out. Try and get that far. See that now. So I go nearly towards the end, but not towards the end, especially on a softer area. On a harder area, you just want to lay off a bit because it will reach that biting point quicker because there's not much flesh to push through in the sense of give. So you can see that now it's going down a lot more, so you do have to push to get that biting point. But been using the side of the mag to create these fur kind of textures. It's going a bit red now, but that's what always happens with Ryan's skin. Just want to layer it up, make sure it's all smooth. If it does get too red, just crack onto another section because that's what you want to do. Leave it to calm down a bit, you know. Right now, actually what I'm going to do is just go in with a dark solid black and do this area here while I've got it. Start light. I'm going to switch to the corner of my mag, so I'm not doing too. And I'll go back through this as well with a liner just to make sure some bits are sharper than others. you don't want the whole tattoo to be sharp because then other things won't pop out. And then I'll rely on the white to have them pop out a bit more as well. So it doesn't matter if it's not crystal clear and crispy in a sense of really sharp looking, because you can work on that afterwards. You can start to pick out things in the tattoo that you want to bring out, and that adds to the whole effect of a good tattoo. Using the side of the needle, the corner, just to get into the difficult areas. I'm only going very light now, just layering it up. This is the black area. And then I'll probably come out with a couple of lines here and there with the direction of the flow, which is upwards and then out, turning my machine round like that. There we go. Now I'm going to swap to a 3-round liner from Quadrant, 0.35, which is a standard size. I'm going to bring that needle back in a bit. Sometimes when you switch needles, they have different lengths of plunger in the middle, so some will be really far out and some will be really far in, but that's how far I've got the needle poking out, if you can see that. There you go, that's better. So a couple of mil. I'm going to go in with a black, solid black, and do this nose section. Yep. So you can see I'm not going all the way into the grip, to the plastic. I'm hovering it, and by this I've pushed the needle out a tiny bit further than the actual depth that I need, because I've got way more control using this type of a solid line in there. And then I can stipple this. I'm going to stipple this just black, solid black. You can pack colour in with a 3-round liner, which you're going to see now, as long as you move your hand quick enough. Please smash a like on the video. Thanks for the donations, guys, that have been sending in. That's really cool to support the channel like that. I appreciate that. And if you do send a super chat, I can see it. It stays on the screen, so I won't miss it. It does flag up to me, so I will see and read your comment. But there you go. You can see slowly packing this in now. The stipple technique's really good on the skin as well, so you can go over it a bit more than, say, shading, but you still have to be careful. Every technique can overwork the skin, but it's just a nice technique on the skin, and it heals really well, I've found. See, that's solid now. Just make sure gone all the way to the edges. And with a liner you can, because it's like a little pen, so you can really get in there close. And this is the section that I really want to keep sharp, to add to the effect. I'm going to do the other side of the nose now. Slow, consistent. When you're going back into a line, make sure you feather it into the existing line and come back round. Slow, consistent hand speed. After I've done this, I'll be working from here upwards then. Then you can stipple with a 3-round if you keep your hand going. Missed a couple spots there, so I'm going to go back into it. If you feel like it's not going in, just slow the ink's not going in nice as you want it, just slow your hand speed down. It'll start to go in a lot better. That's for shading as well. If you feel like the ink's not going in that you want it to, slow your hand speed down. Always think that. If it's not going in, you want it like you want it to, slow it down, slow it down. Then that way it allows the ink to fully saturate. This is a bit of a weird area because it's in the crease, so the skin's a bit of a weird texture here, so it can take a couple times to get in. Thanks for the support as always, guys. I really appreciate you commenting and giving me advice. I've learned some things while doing this channel as well. It's not just me giving advice out. It's a lot of people have, you know, told me to maybe look at some different strokes and stuff like that and try things out, and that's what I've done. And some things have worked and some things I've taken from people as well. So I just wanted to make it a community where we can all sort of give each other help and guidance, I guess. Right, okay, so I'm going to start from here. Actually, you know what, I'm going to start in this section here while I'm here, because it is rubbing off a bit. So I'm going to rinse my needle out, make sure it's fully rinsed out, because that was black, solid black. So a couple dips in the thing. And yeah. Jerry Zoo, I'm the only non-tattooist here. It's all in the ink, the RC homies. It's all in the wrist. Cliff Jordan. That's his dad, I think, my client's dad. Tyler, what are some good first steps to drawing realism? You know what, like this image here is really good to start, because you can see how contrasted that is. You've got really light spots, you've got really dark spots. That's a good type of image to start, because if you look at this type of image, you can start to, there's not much you have to do in terms of different tones. There's dark, there's light, and then there's mids. There's no like mid to lights or light to mids or dark to mids and stuff like that. It's pretty straightforward. I would start with a high contrast picture like this. There's loads of different ones as well, and they do look really nice as well to do. And I would just start drawing realism like that, because I would. I'm not really the drawing guru, to be fair. But I like, I think I've got Faber-Castell? I've got some Faber-Castell pencils. I bought a set of Faber-Castell pencils, and yeah, I've got like 300 GSM paper, I think, acid free, and that's what I draw on. But I've learned that from other people. I'm just going to sharpen this up with. But I don't draw that much, to be honest. I don't draw that much. I've probably tattooed way longer than what I've drawn in my life. Just sharpening this up, guys. When the skin starts to die down, you can see some parts in the nose that I've just done that start to come through. So you just go back over them if you want. Right, I'm going to get a mag out now and just fill this in black. Well, mostly black. I've got the 9. Push the needle out a bit. Push some black in the nose here. And I'll go up to these little things here, and I won't go all the way out because I do want to still keep a bit of contrast between the nostrils. Just going to whip that out from the centre towards the lines I've put in there. Carry on with colour packing this in. You see where I've got the line as well, colour pack that until there. Then I'll get like a medium tone and start feathering that out so I've still got that shape. And then I'll then start to do some fur tones in here. Now, I don't really recommend starting here. It's only because I know I've got a really good stencil that I'm wiping down through the stencil. I know it's not going to come off. As soon as the stencil starts to come off, you then want to start to do that area. I don't recommend starting from the top or like different, like, well, starting from here and then work my way across really, but I'm wiping through this section because I know I have got a good stencil and I know when I wipe it off, it's still going to be there. I'm going to start to do some little textures in here now. And then go back in, start colour packing. It's starting to rub off now. I'm just going to line this out with a my 3 round. I'm going to wash it out just in case I haven't before. Wash the needle out, and then I'm going to go up with the light tone and just put this in, just so if it does rub off, I've still got it there. Looks dark, but it's not. It's going to heal light because it is a light tone. I'm going to put some dark tone in here. Just going to stipple this off of here, this line just up, just for the gums. Get some detail in. It's hard to get detail in a hand because the skin's not very nice to tattoo. So I probably wouldn't recommend tattooing a hand if you are a beginner, because it is quite a difficult place to tattoo. With that being said, it's more for the technique, I guess. Right, okay. I don't really need to do this bit, but I will. It's coming together. Thanks for the likes, guys. Thanks for the super chats, etc. Just going to quickly go down. Morning, 7 a.m. from Atlanta. Bruce Banner, what's going on? Finger tattoos hurt, but they always fade. Yeah, it's because you always move your fingers in and out of your pockets, etc. Got an apprenticeship after a year watching your channel. Thanks well, yeah, I just want to say thanks for the support, Paul. Let me know how it goes, man, because that's really cool. I've had a couple of people message me about that, to be fair. That's really cool. Yeah, please smash a like on the video, guys. That really help the channel out. I want to try and get to 300 likes by the end of this video, but we'll see. What time is it for you right now? It is, what is the time? I don't know. It's 12:13 in the afternoon. It's 4 in the morning in California. Ivan Mendoza, 9 p.m. Robbie Wolford. Indonesia in the house. Indonesia in the house. I'm going to go back in with a dark black. Do this bit here because this is looking a bit faded to me. I need to push this out a bit. Get the excess off. Get some tattoo ornament on there. And then head into this part. And we're going to come down here like this. Slowly does it, just packing that black in. Go back into here because this is not very saturated. Fade this out like this. Go back into the black, solid black. Push this down. See which part I'm doing here. "1 p.m. in Sweden. Anton, how you doing, bro? I'm gonna start to pack some black into the blackest part of the tattoo now. Really careful with these teeth, don't go too far up because you will go over the line and it will look bad. I like to go around the outside first so you've got a nice big bumper to come off so you know you're not going to go over the line. Just being careful, and then you've got a nice big section there to come off quite easily. So you don't have to worry about potentially ruining the teeth. Very messy hand tattoos. There's a lot of creases for the ink to stay in. A lot of creases. Carry on going around here. Go up until there. Just carry on. I'm using a 9 curve mag right now. I'm not going to discuss prices on live stream, but if you do want a tattoo by me, please email me at tattoos with an S on the end, tattoos by Oliver Air at gmail.com, and pricing will be sent out. I price by piece anyway, so. What's going on, Jay Mick? How's it going? How's it feeling? Is it right?
Yeah.
Painful? So.
Not as much as last time, really.
What, on that? God, my nose is fucked today.
Yeah, I felt the left one was worse than the right, to be honest. For whatever reason.
Oh, it's because one side of your body hurts more anyway, bro. Make these a bit sharper. You want them teeth to be sharp, boy. Now I'm going to be putting some lighter shades in here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the 3-iron liner, wash it out in case, and then I'm going to put like a light tone. Just do this. Almost put some stipple lines in. You can see it looks really cool. Keeping the flow of the hair. Bit more darker. Right now I'm going to go through these lines. Just do these little circles. We're putting white in them anyway, so that'll pop them out. Go back to my mag, fade down with a dark wash on the bottom of the tooth. Just whip that down. Like that. Probably go a bit further on this part. So you can see it all slowly coming together now, the depth's coming in now. Carry on with this nose. Just going to lightly brush this in. Just whipping this. This is a nice whip motion. Me against the world. Right, I'm going to whip this up. Dark wash again. I'm going to stay dark as well with a dark wash, not a black wash. Black ink, sorry, that I was using a minute ago. Stay with dark, whip that out. So when it heals, this bit will be a bit lighter than this part, which is what it does look like on the picture. Let's be careful now because I'm rubbing this bit off. I'll stay with the dark as well because I don't want it to be as dark as these nostrils, so you still want some. Fill that in. So even though it looks black on the picture, I don't want it to be as black as that because you can still see the nostrils through the dark parts. So I know I've got to go in with the darkest grey wash I've got, but not black, and that will create this shadow effect on the nose. Just following the picture, the reference. It's following the reference as close as you possibly can. You can start to see this now really taking shape. I'm going to go down. I'm going to wash my needle out and then go down to a lighter tone and just brush this out. Fade. Nice brush motion like this, look. That's the motion you want for the technique that we're applying here, and you can see that nice fade now. Don't be afraid to put layers upon layers, as long as you don't. I'm going to put a medium tone now and just wash this round this side ever so slightly, just to create that nice bit of separation between the nose and the rest of the face. So this is a bit darker than the thing of the shade I've just put in the nose. That just separates that. I might get a line of white down there as well, just to sharpen it up as well, but we'll see. I'm just going to go all the way to the end of here and just do a couple of strands, following a direction, just so I've got the detail all the way up until the nose section. Again, it's still a medium wash. So it's the same colour. Just fade it out. Right, okay, so carry these on with the medium and the eye there. I'll use a light tone now, go into here, just to dull down this little line, separation we've got going. And then as it comes up to the top, it does get a bit more. Just going to whip shade that out as well. Just creating layers to just get rid of that separation a bit more. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to do this part now. Actually, while I'm here, really, really light tone. Let's do these teeth. Nice slow whip action. Just fade down from the top just to make sure this does look like that underneath the lip. You see that coming through now. Just adds to the effect. Ooh, there's not much to go off here, but we'll whip from this line. Like so. There we go. It's now looking a bit more 3D in the mouth now. This is pretty good, so I'm going to carry on going over here. Carry on with this section. So do that, hold that. Just manipulate the client's hand, sorry, to where it feels comfortable for you. I've lost a bit of the stencil now, but I'm just going to go back into the part that we've done, the black part, which is the eye here. I'm just going to carry on through this. It's a light tone. And then we can come around here, start to feed this into here, use a pendulum swing. Pendulum swing. Gone down a colour, a shade, sorry. So this is proper faded out. Oh, what big teeth you have. Cheers, Jordan, bro. Cliff Jordan. Appreciate that. I'm going to go into... So I've actually dipped into the rinse cup just to even go even lighter than my lightest shade. You can see how watery that is. But I like to do that a lot of times. And that's a big technique that I like to use. A little secret. Just adds like the smallest shades that you can see that's hardly in there. Hard to see it, but when it heals, it's just going to add that tiny bit more. I'm going to go back into the lighter shade now, just to fade it into this part, because it does really make a difference when you're using proper light tones. The lighter areas you have in your tattoos, the more realistic it seems to be, which is weird, I know, but it's just what happens. So what I'm going to do now is get the my trusty free-round liner, because that was getting a bit bloody and a bit red, so I'm just going to leave that for a bit. Go back into the top of the nose. Yeah. Putting the details in. Gonna swap to 9 again. Solid black into this nose area. You really then start to get these details in this side. Using the side of the mag to create a fur texture. I'm gonna then start to fade off. Put this solid black as well, because it is like that on the picture, on the reference. Whip. And whipping that quick like this, going in and digging out, almost like a shovel. Start to see that fading a bit now. I'm going to go into a light tone now and just fade the final bit of this nose bit out. Use the side, just gets as much detail in as possible. Go up to a medium, it's a bit darker down here, where it starts to come around. And just fill this little section in here. The medium tone. Cool. I'm very impressed with how this stencil's holding up. Down the bottom, normally it's the first place to go. I'm just going to turn round so you can see this side. It's getting a bit wet now down there. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do this section here, which is here. See how I turned I spun it like that to suit it. I didn't lift up there, and I just spun it like this I'm always spinning it in the direction of the fur, which makes a massive difference. A nice little technique as well there, you can see, spinning it out. I'm going to do that section next, actually, the bottom of the knuckles, because that is quite sore. And it's slowly starting to come off. Lost one side of the, gonna use a light tone in here, the lightest tone I've got. I've lost one side of the thing here. Of the tooth. This is the lightest tone I'm using now, guys, just to pick out these little details. Because around where this is, there's not much dark shading, so you want to go really light with the liner. So you've still got the contrast there, if you need it. I'm even going to do this in light as well. I'm going to do these in a medium tone. Don't press too deep. Not when lining on knuckles and bones and stuff, because it will come back to bite you in the arse. Got all these nice little details around the... Just goes up like this. This is a medium tone, not a solid black. I'm just going to fill these little shapes in with the liner. Actually, I'll probably do that in medium. Make sure you go up to the lines, saturate it all, and flip that out. Can't wait to put the white in this, gonna pop it out. I am stippling all this in, using the stipple technique. As long as you move your hand quick enough, you won't put lines in the skin, you'll just put dots like this. Don't press too hard either, especially on this part. Cool, right, now I'm going to go into the black. Put this line in here. Really careful over this knuckle, not to go too deep. Come around here with the blacks. This is black, black. That'll fade out. Go a tiny bit deeper with this part. That's it. Same with this one. Right now, what I'm going to do is use a 9 mag, I think. Solid black. Push it out a tiny bit, the needle, so I've got some movement. And just fill this sucker in. And whip out towards the bottom. Using every inch of your mag, manipulate the mag so you can. I'm pushing the skin away from the knuckle as well, so it's not just bouncing off the knuckle. It's a bit easier to shade. Like that. Make sure it's fully saturated. Back in with the black again. Do this side. Really, really light on the skin just to see where your needle is. When you can see it coming onto the skin, you know where you are. You can go down a bit deeper. Whip from here. Go back in, whip. And that's how you get the little shades. Ooh, that's tight. I'm gonna use. I like a lot of artists that I follow at the minute. David Vega does this as well, actually. He likes to shade, not against the grain, but he almost likes to pull the machine back like this. So coming backwards instead of forwards, it comes back. That creates a really soft blend. As long as you've got the right hand speed. Yeah. Make sure I've gone up to the line. What I'm going to do is for this texture here, I'm going to use my 3-round liner. I'm going to use a light time first. I'm going to line it out. Just need to wipe it down a bit a minute. Make sure it's all clean. There we go. Probably saturate this area a bit more. You can see it's not totally saturated. I'm using, thanks for the likes, guys. Appreciate. Please smash a like on the video if you're watching. This video will be available to rewatch back once the live's finished. It saves onto my channel, so please feel free to watch it back again after I've pretty much explained the whole tattoo that I'm doing. So it's almost like a webinar, seminar thing. I thought I'd say, yeah, so this lip, I'm gonna line it first with a medium, actually. Line this lip out first. Don't go too hard on the knuckle areas, because you can easily go too deep because it's not much leeway you got there. I'm gonna come up. I'm just gonna quickly line this quick, like that. Bit of ointment. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I want to try and get 300 likes on the video by the end of this, which would be really cool. If we could do that, that'd be amazing. Show spot, really careful. Ooh, over the knuckles. You can go too deep. And then what I want to do is just stipple for this technique here. Like that. Going again with a darkish grey wash. Stipple, stipple, stipple. I'm not pulling my hand off of the skin here. I'm just sticking it in to the depth, finding the depth, and then just doing that. You can see now it's starting to come together. I like how this looks as well, the little texture that it gives it. Make sure you proper whip up from the lines so the lines sort of fades a bit. Give another whack. Creases full with ink. Stretch it out away from the knuckles. Try to as best you can, and go back in. Going a bit deeper this time. Just make sure it's in there. I'm going to go in with a black. This end. Making sure it's fully saturated. Just getting rid of that line that I've put in there. Like so. Just do some details while I'm around this area. Make sure this is all up to the lines. Nice and sharp, because this section of the thing, I want it to be sharp. My voltage, by the way, is 9 volts throughout the whole tattoo. Those of you that are saying about that in the comments. I'm going to use the same technique to do this little section as well. If it doesn't go in, slow your hand speed down. Right, now what I'm going to do is get my curved mag, and saturate this whole mouth section more. And I'll go over with I'm using solid black. Turn that down a bit. Making sure all this is proper saturated, because hands can heal pretty bad, so you don't want most of this to fall out. Still working with solid black. I'm going to be going up to here as well. All right. Being careful around his teeth, not to go over the line. Got my machine proper at a 45-degree angle here, just sticking that in right against the grain. Just makes it easier to go in. Saturates it more. Way better. Right, I'm going to go in with a really dark tone now and just whip down over these shades, just to hide these in the mouth, just to pull them back a bit into the picture. Shade over these little tiny bits as well. What's that saying? Yeah. Got like that. Tiny little line in here. I'm going to rinse my needle out because it's dark into a lighter tone, so then I'm going to go with a light grey wash and just saturate this. Just get a couple layers over this section. See it changing colour now. Like that. Right, now the same colour. Saturate this section. Go up to these teeth. I'm just going to whip up to these teeth. Just adds more depth as well. I'm going into the lightest possible one now. I'm just going to fade this out with this knuckle. This will heal super, super light, even though it looks like basically the same colour I've just put in, it's going to heal super, super light. Same with this. One up, I've gone a bit of a darker one up. See, this is a really awkward area, so I'm going to do that like that, just stretch. Right. Going with my darkest grey wash, pull down from here. Just whipping this out now. See how you can see these jaggedy lines? That's because my hand speed's going too quick. So just slow them down. I'm just going to go in with the light tone now. Just slow my hand speed down. And slowly disappear. Really slow. There you go. Slowly makes it disappear. That's a point. And let's see, like the slower the hand speed, the more blended and smooth it is. Consistent hand speed motions like this, really slow, really smooth work. Sometimes I just get carried away, I'm like this, and then it starts to look a bit jaggedy and I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to slow down a bit. Come off the end here, couple teeth on there. Right, so we're adding more and more. I'm just going to go into that area there with the black and saturate it a bit more, making sure I've got it everywhere and it's fully saturated with black. Whip over them again. Black, 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 black. That mouth looks nice now. Go over the nose again. probably going to hurt, so I've already gone into this area. Making sure I've got all these areas now. Fade that up into there, fade that out into there. Just feeling it now, I can hear him going, ah. There we go, that's fully saturated. Okay, it's getting there, guys, it's getting there. Just one half of the face to go. Probably most detailed now, all those pieces. All the fur. It's getting there though, it's getting there. I'm liking the progress so far. Right, okay, cool. So, we've got that. I'm just going to start, actually, you know what, I'll start down here. I think he should keep this. He's got a word under here, look, you can see that. I think you should keep it. Purely for the fact because he's going to get covered one day and he'll want those little spaces filled. I mean, I could cover it, but I don't know. Do you think we should cover it? Just looking at this, it's in here, so there's a dark, it's very dark in there. So, yeah, it's 9 volts for the whole tattoo. Sorry. Yeah, that's it, Danny Melrose. You hit the nail on the head there. Good stretch to line. And then release a bit to shade. I'm going to turn this round. So I've got this thing there. Actually, I'm going to spin it up. Oh, too far. I'm going to do that like that. I have him put his arm like that, so I can get to the side easy. May as well take that away now. As you see, this part here I'm doing, it's quite dark. 9 curve mag. 155 likes in the video, guys. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Please smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell icon. I'm going to do a lot more of these, I think, in the future if this video does well. I'm just going to go up a tiny bit more with these. Because on the reference, it does look like it's got a really small little line here between the lip and the and that there. It's better. Look at that. Just extended that out again. Just make it a bit more like the picture. Bit more. There's a bit too fat of a skin tone gap there. Right, okay, so side, same pretty much technique that I've used all along. Pop that there. Okay, cool. So, go in with this. This is going to be sore. This is this sore area of the hand, the side. Ryan, do you want this covered?
Do what you need to do.
Right, that gives me loads of help. Do you want it covered or not? We can cover it, but if you want to keep it, I can just go up to it. Depends.
No, you can obliterate it if you want.
Do you want? It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose most of that's going to fade off into there anyway, ain't it? So.
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's do it then. Let's cover it up. Let's do it.
Oh.
Oh, fuck, he says. It's too late now, we're starting to cover this up with solid black. fade this out, whip it out, and then go back into it. Yeah, all this is proper black in here. Hell yeah. Nice. To make sure we go over the end of the tattoo to cover it. Make sure you go deep enough. I'm pressing pretty hard, to be fair now. Really digging this in. To get deep, not too far obviously, but really digging this in to get deep enough in the side here, because the side doesn't really stay in that well. So make sure it's proper in there. Okay, so that's that bit, that's that bit. Come back up here. So this was this section here we've got. Like so. Right, I'm going to go into a medium tone now. Just come off of this. Create some textures in here. Like that. Get some nice detail in there. Right, I'm going to go into these directional flows on the side with the corner of my mag, and I'm just going to come off. Actually, this is going to be pretty dark from here, so I'm going to use a corner like this, get the flow. It's quite saturated in here, so I'm rarely lifting my needle off the, following them lines, look, to get as much direction as possible. And then we go into here like this, come around. Using the side, the corner of the mag. Really careful. Can't really see. Can barely handle the side of the hand. Get it? Put them. This is now a bit more saturated. Got a bit of letter in there, so cover that up. So, didn't respond. He's probably smashing rock music in his ears to get him through the pain. The pain. Using solid black as well, if you didn't know. Following the directional flow of the fur. This has got to be fucking killing him, because this would be killing me. He's a strong cookie, our Ryan. How's it going, bruv?
All good.
Sweet. Not sore, no?
How are you, sweetheart? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. Is it sore?
Where, anywhere?
On the side here? Relatively.
Yeah, but to be expected.
Okay.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
True. Just touch that nose up, just saturated that. Okay, so this is where the hand positions come into play. Make sure this is fully saturated. I'm digging quite deep on the side here because in the palms, you have to go quite deep, especially to cover up this tattoo as well, and then lay off again as we come onto the hand. Lay. Dig deep into this palm again. Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese. Right, where is this going? So this will go up here. Can't you see? You can just see it at the top of the screen. Actually, I'll do this. There you go. Slowly coming together right now. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Shade this bit out. Fade. Whippage. Brush. Brush. There we go. Let's give it a good old whap down. Whap down. It's looking sweet, bro. Dab on them hoes. Right, okay, cool. So we've got that in there now. We can now bish bash bosh this out. Do this little wrist area. Put this back in there. Yup. I'm going to add more detail to this area as well. I'm just going to get most of it in. Just going to do a tiny bit of shade in here. Just fade that out a tiny bit there. Only really light stuff. I'm going to do this in the teeth before I carry on as well, just so I don't forget anything. Thanks for the likes and the support on this video, guys. I really appreciate that. I've gone in with a really light tone. I'm going to flick up from here. Again, this is on the knuckles, so be careful not to go too harsh. I'll just do these in sizes. Get some nice shading in there. Darken that one up a bit. There we go. Adds to the effect. Right, okay, cool. So we have this eye section now. I'm going to do this with a mag, I think. So position him like this, so we've got a nice direction to the fur. I'm going to go up. I'm just going to put the needle out a tiny bit longer and go up so I can see where I'm going. Actually, I'm going to do this tiny bit first. Just make sure I've got all this tones correct. I got 5 on it. Hey. Just brushing, pendulum swinging this in, so it's not too harsh. That's it. Neaten that side up so it's not so thick around the side. Like so. Cool. Now we're looking good, aren't we? Couple strands through here. The corner of the mag. When the white goes in, it's going to just transform this whole thing to something so serious. So why so serious? Using solid black, if you didn't know, guys. Go back there like that. Yeah. Oh, it's not even fucking. There we go. Right, so I'm gonna come off. Where's this section here? Okay. So this section here is black. This is probably one of the most important parts of this tattoo now. Okay, I'm following the direction. So light in there, layering it up. Come through. Nearly 200 likes on the video, 178 likes, 205 people watching. That's amazing. Thank you very much. 179. Yeah, it's working, bro. These are quite, yeah, I need to probably lube this after this, actually. I lubed it about 3 tattoos ago, so I'll give it a bit of a lube. Maintenance, obviously. You have to maintain your machines. They're not indestructible. $185, thank you very much, bros and girls, if you're watching. Of course you will be. Just gonna go slow on this bit, make sure I've got all the correct parts in. Yeah, green glide. I've just seen someone say A&D ointment. Probably missed your comment, but yeah, green glide. It's inkies. It's really nice. It just doesn't really, like Jordan's normally got really Ryan. Sorry, I keep calling him Jordan because his last name is Jordan, but Ryan normally has quite sensitive red skin, and since I've been using this, well, it's red, but it's not bad, is it? Considering that to that's not bad, is it? So it's really good stuff. It's got loads of vitamins and stuff in it. It's like A&D, basically, like what someone said. So it's going to be solid in there. Solid. Oh yeah, baby. Look at this. It's nice. Number 2 prostitute in Kazakhstan. Oh, my stomach is hungry. Fading that out, creating that nice thing. Oh, actually, while I'm here, I'm going to go up into here. Using the corner of the mag, look, you see I'm using the corner. I'm not like that, I'm tilting it right back and just using that corner. My needle's sticking out quite far. You can see that, it's quite far. But I'm not sticking all the needle in, obviously, because that'd be stupid. You've got way more freedom when you've got a needle sticking out further than the depth that you... So some people find the needle depth and then ride the tube, which means sticking the whole needle in until you reach the plastic. I don't do that because you've got way more freedom sticking the needle out. But then the other thing that you have to be careful of is if you stick the needle too far out, you have then ink flow problems from the tube. So it's just finding a balance of sticking it out as far as you can sort of get away with, so you've got that freedom and still having free flowing ink. And right now you can see there's a lot of ink there, so I've got no problems with that, and I can still see my needle perfectly fine. Still using the side of the mag. Cool, man. Wash the needle out. Use a really light tone, the lightest tone, and just brush in from here. Create that nice little shadow. I'm going to do some fur, tiny fur marks in here. Then I'm dipping into the grey wash I've got. Because that's really light. That's what I'm doing with this, the nose. Oh man, thanks Rexor. Thanks a lot for the tips you give. Glad there's people like you around teaching and showing people what to do. Thanks for that contribution, mate. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support as well. Just doing what I enjoy doing, giving people some valuable information that not a lot of people do. And the reason for that is that I know how hard it was to find an apprenticeship, and I eventually had to teach myself, which is very hard, and I felt like I was lost, and eventually knuckled down and got to it. But it's hard to know what to do. So I thought, you know what, I really wanted an apprentice, but my studio, the way it's set up, it's not apprentice friendly right now. So yeah, the next thing I could have done, because I wanted to help people, I feel happy out of helping people, is as cliche as it sounds, is doing this YouTube channel. So that's why I've done it. Long story short, really light tone in here. See this section, I'm doing this section here now. Really light, really light. The grey wash I'm dipping into now is turned quite dark, so that's why I'm using that now as an extra wash, extra light wash. And that's what I'm dipping into now to get the really light tones. Using the corner of the mag. Now we're going on to the wrist. Again, the hair technique that I showed you in the last videos I've been posting. Same technique for I'm using the corner of the mag just to pop these in. These little directional flow fur sections. Just layering it up. We go up into a bit more of a section. The lightest tone now, which is going to be darker than the tone I've just used. I'm just going to really fast feather this in because this is a bit. I'm not using the side. I've just turned it slightly so it's at an angle. So it's at like a. So this is what I would want to do for a line, and then I've turned it slightly just on the diagonal, just to make it a bit flatter, so it looks a bit more blurred, because that's the effect that we're going for up here. But you're still getting one side of the nice sort of hair effect, fur effect. Now I'm going to go to a really light shade. Go back into the fur sections again. At the top, pull up Bob Ross. Just going to shade this out now, just using a shading technique.
Sorry, 1 sec.
It's alright, bro.
There you go.
How's it feeling? Good?
Yeah, fine.
Good, man. Yeah. Just going to shade this out now with a really light tone. Shade into the existing. I'm going to go dip into the light tone as well, not the lightest one. Or the lightest grey wash I originally set out. Put more of these lines in. Put more directional flow lines. Just to get the contrast up nice. It's the scat man. Skibidi-bidi-dub-dub-dub-dub. Turn your wrist over, lad. Just gonna carry on these. Lighter shade. Just now fade this out into the abyss. Go up a tiny bit. Dark grey wash. It's getting a bit red up here now. There we go. The medium tone from the outside. Light tone. I'm just going to fade this out now. I'm going to go in with a really light grey wash. Just do some fading action now at the top here. It's not going in well, slow your hand speed down, it should go in fine. Okay, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit more black up here actually, because it's a bit darker on the reference here. With that being said, create a bit more contrast up here as well, a bit more. There we go. Cool. Right, so we have now some little details on here that I want to do. Really light grey wash up here. Shade away from the schnauzer. Really light grey wash again. Put some of these little marks in. Like that. Cool, man. Just gonna put a bit of dark grey wash, just gonna press that down like that, so it's a bit of a line. A tiny line in there as well. Just stuff like that and that. It's about there, guys, I think. Apart from the white, which we'll be putting in. Just shade that round. Get some dark grey wash, shade it in there. Shade through here as well. Cool, man. Okay, so that is pretty much. Just gonna put a tiny bit more in here. Cool, man. Right, let's give it a good old wash down. Now that I can tell is gonna heal like a fucking beast, because I can tell that's properly saturated in the skin, gone to the correct depth. We've covered that well, haven't we? Make sure you get all in between the fingers. Nice and soft, nice and gentle. Nice and soft, nice and gentle. Pat, pat, pat. Right, now I'm going to get some white. And the white I'm going to be using for this is, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what am I gloves then? I was like, oh no, what have I done? Oh no, what have I done? This is the what I'm using. Empire. Of course, Empire. And this is just going to pop everything out. Real good. Oh, nearly 200 likes on the video. Thank you very much. 196. $197, 201. Awesome. Really, really cool. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for the contributions to everyone that has sent those in as well. Really appreciate that. That was really cool. I'm rinsing. Los Hermana says, are you rinsing the needles, switching from light and dark? Yes, I am. I'm rinsing them. Thanks, Lucas Racing, for that. That's a cool name, man. Racing. This is where you start to see the, you know, just looking at this right now. Now I'm stood back away. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more shading in here, just to separate the those parts. Well, just to merge them together, actually. Use a medium tone. Better. A bit more depth now. Bloody thing. Right, now I'm going to use a fresh needle. Always use fresh needles for white. I'm going to use 5 shader if I can find one. Oh, I think I've run out. Well, that's bloody annoying, isn't it? Never mind. Actually, I've got one there. Here's one I got earlier. Just see it. I've got Da Vinci. Oh, nice one for the likes, guys. Da Vinci 5 round shader. V2. I think. Yeah, it's a V2. And I like to use shaders because I just feel like it goes in the skin easier. Okay, cool, let's do it. Just whack this white and make this pop out. Woo! Sore?
Wonderful, yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful, bloody sore. These needles are really nice. Really bloody nice. Don't wipe your, always when you're using white as well, always wipe your tattoo down with a fresh thing. If it's already had black on it, it will make your white grey. Because it will surprisingly go into the thing. Got a bit of contrast at the bottom here as well. I like to dot in the white. I feel like it goes in a bit easier. The white just adds a different dimension. If people don't use white, I do suggest that you use white because it does just add a different layer of detail. Don't go over crazy with it though, because you can make things look a bit washed out. With the white, I like to use it on anything that's going to be wet. So teeth, lips, nose, on an animal of course, eyes. Before I go any further at the top, just realised I need to shade the side of that nose. Now, if you've done the white, you want to make sure you cover it with a lot of Vaseline, because if you then go back into an area with, you want to be careful basically, because if you go into an area that's got white next to it and you rub into the white, it's going to turn the white grey. Always wipe away from white parts. Fresh, again, wipe away from white parts. Make sure it's not cross-contaminating, because it will go into it. There you go. It's better. Might swap back. Put white needle on again. I slow my hand speed right down to put white in as well, by the way. Which helps it massively. Just saturating the skin. difficult. Just going to put a tiny bit more round the eye area to pop it out. Actually, I'm going to put a couple in here as well. Just bend. Thanks for, please subscribe if you're new here. A lot of you aren't subscribed that watch my videos. Don't want to miss a video. You get an email saying when I go live, etc. So smash that bell icon. A notification will come up on your phone as well. Tell you when I'm going live. I do loads of Q&As, etc. So all helpful stuff if you want anything to know about tattooing. Right, I'm going to do a tiny more sections through here. Just adding on to the contrast. I'm going to be finishing this live stream in about 2 minutes. Well, about 2-3 minutes. So if you've got any questions, smash them in now. Thanks for watching again, guys. Appreciate the love. I'm going to do a tiny bit more white up here just to contrast this out a bit more. Oh yeah, I'm just going to do that little line down there. Give it a good old scrub down, see what we're going. I don't want to do too much with the white because it can overcompensate for the, oh yeah, that's nice. Compensate for the, it could just make things washed out. I'm just going to put one more tiny thing in. I'm just going to shade this section in here, tiny bit of grey wash in there, and then I'm going to shade a tiny bit of grey wash in there, just looking at these pictures. Just adds to the contrast. Yeah, it's looking good, man. Thanks. If you've stayed this long to watch, 135 minutes, not bad going, is it? Just gonna cover up all the white sections, like I said before. Layer of protection a bit more. Just shade down from here. right over the knuckle. Right over the knuckle. Right, now this section here, I'm just going to do a tiny bit of that in there. Push away from the white. Cool. Give it a good scrub down. There we go. One freshly bared up hand. Boot up, boot up, boot up. Cool, man. Right. That's cool. Let me take you guys off so you can see it's a real thing. Thank you for the likes, guys. Yeah, that's cool. It's very red now. Let's turn this off. It's better. Yeah, cool, man. You see little details in here. Put a bit of detail in this one. All the little shades. So look, stick them together. Yeah, look, sick. Nice little hand you owe there. That's healed, obviously.
If you didn't know that.
If you didn't know it, you do now. That's cool, that, isn't it? That's cool. That feels really nice. Just close your fists, if you can, with this one. Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? Yeah, look at that. That's wicked. Who? All right, in the comment section, last question. Who do you think would win, a lion or a bear? I'm thinking the bear. The bear would win in a fight out of a lion and a bear. Right, anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate that. Bear, here we go. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This is going to be saved, so you can rewatch this this video back. And yeah, it's turned out nice. So cheers.